Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris.
And I'm Sean.
And we are
Nerd to Nerd.
And today we're going to be talking about the movie Sandlot.
And the Mighty Ducks.
And I'd like to give a shout out to our man Lucas for giving us the idea for this week's Movie of the Week. So let's start things off and talk about the Mighty Ducks. Go ahead, Sean.
The Ducks, one of my favorite 90s movies ever. True classic. If you're not a hockey fan, watch this movie. I guarantee you it's going to make you a hockey fan. If it's not, I don't know what's going on. Emilio Estevez, awesome job.
Great actor. Played
Amazing.
Coach Bombay very, very well.
Yeah, and he starts out as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Very
relatable situation.
Yeah, he doesn't really look like the kind of hockey fan at all, or any kind of sports person. He's a very strict lawyer. Gets into a little trouble.
A little bit of trouble. Just
a little bit.
Teeny bit.
Gets into a little bit of trouble.
The charges against Mr. Bombay are driving under the influence, driving with an open container, and reckless endangerment.
And to think I almost stayed home this morning.
Has to go through something to kind of keep his job. So as a kind of like recovery program, he
Community
has to coach
service.
not the Ducks, the D5.
District 5.
Yeah.
He got sentenced to community service and he had to coach a hockey team.
And their jerseys or uniforms, they were so horrible.
Oh, they were horrible.
Ridiculous.
I felt so bad for those kids.
Yeah. I don't understand how they didn't quit.
Well, because they had each other.
Yes, the Ducks were the Ducks before they were the Ducks.
Yeah, definitely.
So, going forward,
let's start off with Coach Bombay as a child. He grew up he was actually not a Duck, he was a Hawk, which was the perennial championship team of that
years
time.
and years and years. Yeah.
And the coach of the Hawks had this philosophy of a win it all type of attitude. And you can see it early on in the movie that he had his team get together and they go, win.
Yeah, that's all they cared about.
That's all he cared about. And he forgot about the simple thing, and that is to have fun.
The enjoyment of actually playing the sport that you love. And as a kid, you could tell that it took a lot out of him because all he can remember was that last game shot where it was a penalty shot and the game was on him. And the coach of the Hawks told him,
"It's up to you, Gordon. You missed this shot. You're not just letting me down, you're letting your whole team down, too."
Which was totally not fair to put that burden on
a
young kid.
No, and I believe that was, he said, the year that his father passed away. So I'm sure that's probably why we see him later on in life completely done with hockey, because that happened. His father passed away in the same year, so he probably associates hockey with his dad.
Definitely. Carrying this burden and pain for him for all these years, I could totally see how that could take a toll on somebody.
Mm-hmm. So he buried it, and he missed a shot, hit the crossbar, which really, 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 sucked. It was right there.
And he lost it for his team.
Devastating.
And you see later on in the movie, you see all the championships and how it skips that one year. And it'll always be a constant reminder for this character that it was because of him.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
It's terrible.
Let's talk about him as a coach now. So he started out from community service. He hated kids. He totally hated the kids.
He hated them, yeah. He drove
on the ice and ignored them.
With the limo.
Uh-huh.
Didn't care at all.
Yeah.
And he sat in there, and all the kids were on the ice. And he's like, do this, do that, and...
Yeah, he just didn't care.
As he got inside with his coffee and he's drinking, and you could totally tell he was accepting it, but not accepting it. Mm-hmm. He wasn't fully embracing it yet.
But he did.
Yeah, no, and then Charlie's mom comes
love.
and freaks out on him.
Yeah.
And snaps him into shape a little bit.
He needed a little kick in the butt.
Yeah. Hans is the real key.
He's the hero.
Yeah, so Bombay's basically just sitting there yelling at him, basic coach just screaming his heads off, and then he sees Hans up in the rafters there, and he
did the old disappointed turn away and walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Nobody likes that.
No. Yeah, and that from there on it kind of changed the whole tone of the movie, and he put his skates back on.
Yeah, Coach Bombay met him at the shop that he owns, and Hans got through to him and got to the real person that Bombay is in his heart, and
Yeah, the person he's been
talked
running
it
away
out,
from.
and then Bombay saw, basically what he should be doing for these kids.
Yeah,
and it really turned them around.
It changed his life, complete 360. You could tell it was a special moment when he put those skates back on, and it was almost as if he was relating back to the part of his life where he had to accept his father's death. And once he could accept his father's death, he can continue with hockey. That's how it felt to me. Because he associated the two, but he loved hockey, but he lost his father. So hockey.
This was the
reminded
way of him to be. It healed him.
Yeah, it was. It took all that time, but it was a really special way for him to heal, and the Ducks helped him. And then we see how the firm takes on and helps the District 5 become the Ducks with the sick uniforms and Bombay introducing them to the team. I thought that was a really special moment too.
Well, he got Mr. Ducksworth a jersey.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate kicker.
Yeah,
that got the deal
that
down.
was very clever.
I mean, I would want my own jersey.
yeah.
I mean, let's
Mr.
be honest.
Ducksworth.
Yeah.
Quack,
Quack, quack, quack, quack, quack. Mr. Ducksworth.
yeah. Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. It's a great movie. It really is, from beginning to end.
As a kid, seeing these kids play together, it really hit me and related to me because I used to play hockey with my friends on the street. I was a goalie. Maybe I was pretty good, not gonna lie, but I don't think I was Goldberg.
I think
good.
everyone just wanted to hit you with the puck.
Probably. I think that's what it is. They made me the goalie initially just to hit me with the puck,
Yep.
but I was pretty good. And I remember when I was young and I was watching these kids play hockey in this movie, and it inspired me. This movie gave me so much inspiration to perform at a high level at no matter what I was doing. Whether it was sports, school, anything.
Yeah,
you
it definitely gives you that momentum that you need to strive forward. Speaking of the Ducks, though, it's super relatable too to see what Charlie was going through with him and his.
He didn't
not
really
having
have a
dad.
father figure.
Yeah, and he really didn't need that from Coach, and he came in and he was perfect for it. He was
a good role model for
yeah,
Charlie.
it was exactly what he needed. Really, really nice to see how he was also fixing his own life and helping others.
So I have to ask, who was your favorite Duck?
Charlie. Charlie is my favorite. To see everything that he was going through, not having a dad, being the only man in the house, and being there for his mom and for the hockey team, and being the captain. He's the real Minnesota Miracle Man.
Yeah, good points. Good points. Charlie, for a time, Charlie was my favorite because he was like the main Duck.
Mhm.
I guess you could view him growing up. There were different times where I liked Goldberg. He's funny. I liked Averman.
Yeah.
He's like the comedy of the team. But my favorite has to be Adam Banks.
Banks is really cool.
He was like the Wayne Gretzky
Yeah.
of the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, he's the best.
He was the skill player.
Yeah. Really
So-
neat. Overall, it's a fantastic movie.
Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you?
Even if you have seen it, watch it again.
Yeah.
It's great. It
Yeah,
really
definitely
is.
is.
Love
It is a beautiful story,
And
especially for the young ones.
in the end, the Hawks
Lost?
lost.
The
Ducks beat
quack, quack,
Quack.
quack overcame the win-win-win
Yeah, they
attitude.
sure did, man.
Now,
Awesome.
this movie came out in 1992,
Mhm.
and this was a commercial success. So what happened next really, really surprised the world. The NHL had a team,
Yep.
the Ducks of Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Yeah, I know, and it's really weird to see a company like Disney start a professional sports team, but they've been successful. They won a cup, and then even after winning the cup, they've been successful. Of years late, they haven't been as successful, but they're still a very popular, team, and they have a pretty good fan base.
The legend lives on because whenever there's not
hear
one
about the
time where I
Ducks,
don't think
you-
about the movie when I hear about the Ducks.
yeah, it's
You know.
forever lives on. It's never.
And
gonna
in a
die.
later Ducks movie, they have guest starred Paul Correa, who was picked 4th overall by the Ducks in their first NHL draft, which
Yeah.
is really, really neat.
He's the first official Duck.
He was the face.
He
of the
is Mr.
Ducks.
Duck.
He is Mr.
Awesome.
Duck.
Really, really neat, man. But yeah, I mean, it's a magical story. I know all things Disney are magical, but it truly is, and I'm sure they didn't plan it out to be like that, but it was just It's something out of a book.
So, Sean, I have to ask. Can we quack?
Quack, quack,
Quack, quack. This video is sponsored by the Philadelphia Connection, where they bring the action to you. This is a great place for all your autograph needs of your favorite stars. Please visit thephiladelphiaconnection.com for a list of upcoming signings and for any in-stock purchases of your treasured entertainment and sports heroes. So the other movie we're going to be talking about is Sandlot.
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot.
Where the beast lays.
The Legend of the Beast.
The beast that eats children.
Or at least we thought.
Yeah, or at least we thought.
Now, this movie came out in 1993, and honestly, I was 8, and I was
just
frightened
born.
of the Beast. He was...
I was just born.
He was just a guy, so he didn't see this
since
yet.
1993.
But I was a frightened 8-year-old when I saw the Beast.
I was frightened. I didn't even want to, be born. I was afraid of the beast.
Mm-hmm. Now this, he's a beast because he chewed on an autographed Babe Ruth baseball.
Slobbered all over it.
Oh.
But he did save all the baseballs for the kids.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He
He's
had,
a good
he had a
pup.
pile of chewed up baseballs. Now, for somebody that collects autographs myself, if something like that happened to an autographed baseball of Babe Ruth, I would be in tears.
Makes you cringe.
It makes me cringe.
But he's a good pup, and we later find out he's a great dog, and he's an awesome English Mastiff.
Yes.
And his name's Hercules.
And now being older, he's not so tough. He's
No.
just a cute little puppy.
Yep.
So this movie, it's a good story about a young kid, Scotty Smalls. He moves into a new neighborhood, and the main theme of this is the sport of baseball.
Yeah, and it's in the summer of 1962.
1962.
Really cool throwback movie. Really shows how popular baseball was back in the day, and you kind of miss that. How baseball really used to be America's sport, and now it's America's pastime. I loved Scotty Smalls, and I loved the saying,
You're killing me, Smalls.
and you totally forget that that's exactly where it all came from. And I've heard it my whole life. You're killing me, Smalls. And when you go back and you rewatch The Sandlot, it just reminds you, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that it came from there. Like that's such a popular saying.
It's an iconic saying. Everyone has said it. I say it too sometimes, all the time. I say it to my nephews when they don't listen to me. I say, "You kill me, Smalls."
Yeah, of
and
course.
they look at me like, "What?"
Yeah.
Now, this movie is about baseball, and he meets a few kids. I could relate to this character, Scotty Smalls, because he moves to a new neighborhood, and he's really, really shy. And, I can be a really, really shy person. And I could totally relate to this character, moving to a new neighborhood, not knowing anybody. Honestly, I would have a hard time, meeting new people.
Yeah, and he has a stepdad that's really not interested, or I guess he's just too busy to teach him how to play, and he has no idea how to play ball, so it's really hard for him to get into this new group. It's a new environment completely, but he finds his way, and they teach him how to play baseball completely, and they become his best friends. And
They become family to him.
yeah, and it's the only friends that he has.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
baseball is life.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Yeah.
They wake up, play ball. And
Yeah.
it was a continuous game that never ended. Nobody kept score. It just stopped and picked up the next day.
It was
which
fun.
was really, really
Yeah.
cool.
It came out at a time when I was playing every day, baseball, in a nearby tennis court. I used to play in the tennis court with my friends, and my God, that's exactly what I was doing, just like they were doing. They were going with field. I wasn't so lucky to have a field, but
Yeah.
we made the best of it.
Yeah, I had a backyard. Me and my brother played wiffle ball every single day, every
Mm-hmm.
day. And it kind of reminds you, and when you're a kid and playing ball is just so important. And, it's just such a cool movie to relate to with a lot of people's childhoods.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, this is a funny movie about a group of kids playing ball, and every single day they hit a home run, basically. Over
Yeah, every
the
time they
fence.
hit a home run, the game's over. Because
it's like the
because
first
Beast.
pitch. All right, guys, let's go play ball, and then we hit a home run, and that's about it. That's the that's the day, and they don't have another 98 cents to buy another ball.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how cheap the ball was back then?
Dude,
Like,
it makes you
all the
feel
kids
sick,
playing-
man. Makes
all
you
the
feel
kids putting the
sick.
change together
Like,
to get
what does this
baseball,
world come to?
right?
You know, when all you needed was a ball, a couple of your friends, you just go to the park and you just play ball. You know,
Right. Now everything's phones, technology,
social media.
Oh,
This one's got to have this. This one's got to have that.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
So it's just there's no soul to anything anymore.
So in this movie, we know that the owner of the beast is James Earl Jones, who famously voices Darth Vader,
Yes.
and the stepmom of Scotty, not stepmom, the stepdad of Scotty Smalls is Dennis Leary.
Yeah, he's
who we
really
know
good
from
actor.
many things. He plays a more serious type.
Yeah, but he's
He
good.
was a serious, businessman type of stepdad. but-
Real quick, my favorite part in that movie was when him and Scotty are playing ball, and he throws the ball. It hits Scotty in the face. He's crying, and he goes inside and he takes a piece of meat and just slaps it on his face. It's just like a ribeye instead of an ice pack. The kid just gets a ribeye on his face. He goes, "Here, just keep pressure on it. You'll be fun."
And that's probably it's something that they would do. In the 60s
this is in
too.
the early '60s. You know
Yeah.
about ice packs.
You don't need ice, but you just get a.
You take a ribeye, throw it on the kid's face, and then you eat it
And
for
then you
dinner.
eat it for dinner. Exactly. And the actress that played the mom is actually Karen Allen. She was in Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford, and
Yeah,
was
that's right.
actually in the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray. Christmas movie, really good movie. Check it out.
Okay.
But she was adorable in that movie, and she plays the mom of Scotty Smalls and did really well in this movie.
Yeah, I mean the cast was fantastic, and there's just so many funny parts, man. I mean, especially when they went to the festival and they all did they had the what was it? What kind of tobacco were they dipping?
Oh, like the chew.
I don't know what it was. Just some weird name tobacco, and they all put it in their mouth, and they all go into
Yeah,
spinning
and they all
ride, and
spit
they
it
all
right
start
out.
yakking, and
Yeah, because that sounds gross.
they're all like 12 years old, spitting tobacco and going on roller coasters.
Well, they were inspired by their favorite baseball players, and back then all those baseball players
yeah.
chewed it.
Speaking
So,
of the Babe,
the Babe, he was in the closet.
yeah, which sounds a little weird, but
That's a scene that stands out to me.
Oh, yeah.
After all these years.
The dream?
Yeah.
yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, one of the kids has a dream, and it's Babe Ruth telling him, "Go over the fence, get the balls. You're gonna be okay. You have to take risks in life." And they go over, and that's how they meet Hercules, the dog, and he's been saving these baseball home runs that they've been hitting forever. He's just got a big pile of them.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was
I
really
love
cool.
how
I
it was-
wish I could talk to the Babe in my closet. Because who would have wanted to talk to Babe Ruth?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Closet or not.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, I had a huge crush on Wendy Peppercorn.
Wendy Peppercorn, who is the lifeguard at the community pool. And one of the kids Squints has a huge obsession on her, and he gets frustrated and he just snaps, and they're all in the pool, and he just says,
I can't take this no more.
he gets out of the pool, he goes onto the diving board and looks at his friends, and they're all like, he can't swim, and he just dives right in, and he's sitting there, he's flailing his arms, and Wendy comes to save him, and you take it off.
This magic moment.
She starts to give him CPR, and
And he kisses her.
they're like, oh my gosh, pull through, Squints, and he's just sitting there.
Yeah, the
and
camera pans to his face.
and he
and
goes, next time she goes down to give him CPR, he just grabs her, and
Grabs
starts
her and
making
gives her
out
a
with
kiss.
and then the music hits, and you pervert.
I mean, I can't really blame him. I mean, if I was in his position, I would.
He's
I would
just so
think
built
she's
up.
cute. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Wendy Peppercorn, man.
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
lifeguard.
they teased it earlier on in the movie when they were walking down the block after they bought their first baseball in the movie, and they see Wendy Peppercorn walking by, and they're like,
I know they're all
deer
like
in the
amazed.
headlights. Yeah.
Yep. I've been there, sadly. Now, in this movie, as we know, the Beast chews on that baseball,
Yes.
autographed by Babe Ruth. Chews on it, destroys it, and I think it would kind of upset his stepdad because the ball belonged to his stepdad, and he took it, not knowing who the Babe was.
He had no
So-
idea. Who's this baby Ruth? Not even Babe.
I know the kids
Baby
ripped
Ruth.
him, and then like Babe Ruth, and then they planned out this whole concoction to try and get the ball over the fence.
Yeah, so many
and
different
then-
tricks.
But the Beast wasn't having it.
No, and then that's
No.
when they had the dream. They jumped over. It's, I had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know, the guy jumped over the fence, got the ball, and it was all destroyed. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, stepfather, you know, Dennis Leary found out, was upset. But in the end, it was good because James Earl Jones, the owner of the Beast, he was blind, but he had several team signed baseballs of the 27 Yankees.
yeah, he traded a World Series baseball of the entire Yankees team for the one chewed up ball, and he tells the kids, "I got plenty of them. Go in the closet. You could see, you know." And they're amazed, like, "Oh my gosh!" And he's like, "Here, I'll trade you."
Yeah, his stepdad was amazed and happy about it. I mean, honestly, I'd still be pissed.
I think he was still grounded, but
Yeah,
he
he was
learned a
still
lesson,
grounded.
and he was very lucky.
Yeah.
And
You know, I was very lucky to grow up in the 90s because we had these great movies such as Sandlot and, you know, movies like Mighty Ducks. It was just such a great time to grow up.
really was. I
And-
feel like it was the last decade of awesomeness to grow up in.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s. If you got to grow up in the 90s, nobody will quite understand it, but things are so different now, and movies are totally different, and just the way movies came out and the tone of them, everything changed with it,
Yeah, definitely.
and it'll never be the same.
Definitely. Baseball is my favorite sport, and I think that's the main reason why this movie connected with me at such a young age and has stuck with me through these years. And, you know, I watch this movie every year religiously at the beginning of summer because it reminds me of when I was young playing baseball with my friends. And it's something I look forward to every year. I love this movie.
Wow, great classic. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you have watched it, watch it again. Just like the Ducks. Watch it again.
Yep.
Awesome movie.
So the question is, which one is better?
I don't know. I mean, what do you think? It's tough. We should let them decide.
I think we should.
Please leave your comments below. Let us know what you think.